saw the thumbnail, right? You read the title, right? Pokemon Orange! If you click around on eBay for long enough, you were going to run into some weird stuff. In fact, the only information I found on this game was on the description of the eBay page. Apparently, it's supposed to be a retelling of Ash's time on the Orange Islands. I don't know what this is. I don't know what year it was made, or even how it came into circulation. The only thing I know is that I'm gonna pop it into my Game Boy right now and see what it's all about. Where's the on button on these things? Oh, it's on. Pokemon Orange is a ROM hack made by D.Tyler in the year 01. I'm sure the Apostles had a lot of fun with this one. Anyway, it starts off like most Pokemon games. Professor Gak tells us to go to the Orange Islands to see his friend Professor Ivy. Now, originally I named myself Chet, I named my rival Stan, and I chose Lapras as my starting Pokemon. But I soon found out that our sprites were Jessie and James from Pokemon Yellow, and you find a Lapras in the starting area. So I did a quick reset to change our names to match our sprites, and I selected the Eevee because you can buy elemental stones within the first hour of this game. By the way, no matter what you choose, James is picking an Eevee as well. Also, when we chose our Pokemon, we had the choice between the Elec Pokemon Pikachu, the Norn Pokemon Eevee, or the poison one, Lapras. I better choose carefully. Oh, we are in for something magical. Ivy explains our goal here is to catch Pokemon for her to study, and eventually to collect all 4 gym badges and challenge the Orange Crew. However, this ROM pack was never officially finished, so all I can do is battle the 4 gym leaders. So James and I head off on our Pokemon journey, and I grab a Lapras from the starting area, as well as a Dratini, you know, since a Dragonite is on the art of this game. However, Dratini's only move is Wrap. Gen 1 Wrap. For those of you who've never had the privilege of sitting through a Gen 1 Pokemon game, let me tell you about the move Wrap. And I ain't talking about the Pokemon Wrap.
Gotta catch 'em all, gotta catch 'em all! Gotta catch 'em all, gotta catch 'em all! Charmeleon! War Turtle!
Wrap is weak, but it holds a Pokemon still for 2 to 5 turns. And that's all you and your opponent do, is just sit around and wrap. I used Dratini a lot in this playthrough, and I used Wrap hundreds of times. In fact, if somebody told me that I used Wrap over 1,000 times in this playthrough, I would 100% believe them. Since this game takes place on the Orange Islands, you spend a lot of time surfing, but in this game, it isn't an HM, but you do get an item called the board, so you can surf wherever you like. Once you start surfing, you can find a Bulbasaur, a Squirtle, and a Charmander very early on. I even grabbed one of those Charmanders so I could round out the fire side of my team. But the first city we come to is Celadon City. Well, probably not, but they did have the Celadon Mall in it, which did allow me to grab a Thunderstone and get one of my favorite Pokemon very early on, Sparky. However, when you leave the mall, you actually exit from the Pokemon Center. Huh. So after a couple of hours of playing, I decided to save my game, and saving in this game is terrifying, because every time you decide to do this, this happens. I will admit that the game never crashed while this was happening, but do you know when you save in a game? It's either after a long time of playing, or after doing something you'd never like to do again. And that 3-second skip in the music, it just makes my heart stand still. It is a good thing I played this game in October, because this was true terror. So, once we reach the first gym, I find out that there is something very wrong with this game. The levels are jacked up! So we get to the gym with all of my Pokemon at about level 10, and then the leader Sissy brings out a level 15 Seadra, and then a level 19 Blastoise! This is horrifying! Near the middle of the game, almost everybody is 20 levels ahead of you! This is why I kept Dratini with me, because he could just paralyze his foes and then use Wrap like 400 times until they died. But man, Wrap does so little damage! Like, seriously, it does so little damage that I think they might heal from it. Wait a minute, they actually do heal from it! Shortly after beating Sissy, I found an NPC that said this: D.Tyler, sorry about those Pokemon levels. You inserted yourself into the game to apologize for something you realized was a problem instead of fixing it? Okay. And it is a warranted apology, because shortly after that, I found a bug catcher with a level 35 pincer. And after I obviously lost, my mangled corpse was found on top of a gym.
Huh.
So I got to the next city and I challenged the gym leader, Danny, and he has 2 Pokemon, a Nidoqueen and a Scyther. And in addition to using Dratini's Wrap to beat all these overleveled Pokemon, I also like to bring out Jolteon and use Sand Attack 6 times so I can stand a chance against these foes. But Scyther used Double Team 6 times. Do you know what a battle with a Pokemon with 4 times evasion and 0.16 accuracy looks like? Missed. 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 Missed! 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 Oh, that was a sad movie. But I did meet Danny, and it was time to move on. But to move on, we had to go through our next challenge. It was a cave, brimming with rocket grunts and overleveled lasses, and a guy who swears about Geodudes.
Huh.
But I did beat the Fossil Maniac and got myself a Dome Fossil. But it doesn't really matter because the next city mart sells Moonstones and both fossils for 0 Pokebucks. Actually, the last mart we were at was also handing out Ethers and Old Rods for free. Yes, I will take 99 of each, please. That's another weird thing about this game. It renamed a bunch of items. Herbs, shovel, coconut.
Oh, that I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts.
I do like that the grammar is fixed though. Only the first letter is capitalized. But the grammar everywhere else in the game sucks. I'm willing to guess that some misspellings are to fit into the dialogue boxes, but Tyler threw out all the apostrophes in this game. Can't, ill. I really hate this, but I was almost willing to look past it until the 3rd gym.
Hey, kid. What do you think you're doing?
Your? With an apostrophe? Oh, Danny, thank you so much. I thought the apostrophes were dead.
You want to challenge me? Yeah, right. Or are you serious?
What the flip happened to the apostrophes? So I decided to grind for a little bit. I only mention this because I accidentally deleted my Lapras's best move, and I found the tantrum that I threw hilarious. Unfortunately, my mic was turned off, but you can probably tell just from looking at the screen what kind of pain I was in.
And with that, the facade's over. I actually played this on the Game Boy player.
Well, actually, I believe the word is actually pronounced facade. I'm so clever, I'm so smart.
Also in that area I was training, they have a Pokemon Center with no door. And while it has no door, it does have a trainer with a level 38 Charizard that after it beats you, it leaves your charred remains on top of a Pokemon Center. Alright, I also want to mention one of Rudy's trainers. He is total trash. I mean, look at this. Is this a gentleman? Nope, only trash here. Also, his Nidoking that he brought out, I think there's something wrong with him. But after beating down all of his trainers and a couple hours of grinding, I beat Rudy.
Huh.
I also grabbed myself a Nidorina. Then we went to this town that was just jam-packed with trainers. This guy races Pokemon from cocoons. He has 2 Venomoths. Now, the game has been surprisingly stable up to this point. I understand that when you play a bootleg game, all quality assurance just goes out the window. I mean, just ask my friend Professor Ivy over here. But the game hasn't crashed on me. Until here. When this trainer challenges you, the battle music will start playing, but the screen will not fade to black, forcing a reset. You know, I probably should have been able to guess that there was something wrong with her, seeing as how she's literally standing inside of a fence. But the good news is that if you hug this wall, you can avoid the game-crashing fight. Next, I was able to catch another one of my favorite Pokemon, Ghastly.
That is the scariest freaking thing I have seen in my life. I must have it.
After that, we have a few more challenges. The first are these 4 trainers. I would actually consider this gal the final boss of the game, or at the very least, the most out-of-place trainer here. You see, here's the thing. All of the trainers up to this point have been pretty normal. Everybody has the Pokemon that they should, even if a little over-leveled. Hikers have rocks, bug catchers have bugs, and the gym leaders have Pokemon that they actually had in the show. But this one picnicker, she had a Pidgeot, a Sea King, and a gosh dang level 44 Mewtwo!
Huh.
Fortunately, thanks to Sand Attack, Poison, and Wrap, I was able to take it down, but this led to a dark cave. Now, before the first gym, there was one of Professor Ivy's aides who had an HM for us if we had caught 10 types of Pokemon, but at that point in the game, I hadn't. And at this point in the game, she was back through 2 caves, several patches of grass, and countless bodies of water. So I decided that I was going to feel my way through this cave. Now, the technique of keeping your right hand on the wall at all times actually works here, and the random encounters are pretty low level. But there were a lot of trainers in this cave that were not a low level. And after you get out of the cave, there's still 2 more NPCs with level 45 Pokemon! It was a miracle that I only had to do this once. But I didn't have to do this once. I did the entire cave in one sitting. It was well over an hour. But before I went to the Pokemon Center, I hit up the Mart. And then the Mart spat me out in this pond. At this point, I was spent. So I just saved my game. But when I came back, I realized that I had screwed up. The pond is on the outskirts of town. To the left of you is nothing but a dead end. And to the right of you is water that crashes your game. Unless, of course, it just, holds you in place in this weird, horrifying glitch place. No escape rope, no HM Fly, no Pokemon that can learn Teleport. My save file has been rendered useless.
3 out of the 4 gym badges, and I was in the city with the final gym. I was so close to beating this game, but I'm just out of luck. I mean, if I could KO my own Pokemon, that'd be great. But when you're on your surfboard, there are no random encounters. I thought this was awesome in the beginning of the game. Lots of time on the water, no Tentacruels. But now, when I need them, I'm out of luck. I mean, I do have my 99 old rods and I can fish up some Pokemon, but they are only level 5 magikarps that only know Splash. There is nothing I could do. Well, I guess conceivably I could bring up a whole bunch of the Pokemon and then use all of my PP so that I use Struggle and then KO myself. But that would take a long time. An hour and 46 minutes to be precise. I had to kill over 200 Magikarp to knock out my Pokemon. Seriously, level 5s die in one hit. So when your Jolteon can use Thunder Shock 30 times, Quick Attack 30 times, and Tackle 35 times, and it takes over 30 seconds to catch and KO a Magikarp, it takes a while. And even after exhausting all of your PP, you only lose 7 HP from each struggle. So it kinda sucks when your Lapras is above 100 HP. The worst part of this though, is that each Magikarp is only worth 12 EXP. An hour and 46 minutes stuck in this game, and it can't even be considered grinding. But I did it. I managed to kill 200 Magikarp and KO all of my Pokemon. And after the most boring hour and 46 minutes of my life, I was excited to slowly bump around through the cave. At last, I made it to the final gym. Luana has a lot of trainers, bloodthirsty trainers who will climb on tabletops to challenge you. They have high levels, but they are all optional. But I did decide to take them on because I'm going to need as much EXP as possible because all that's left now is Luana. She flies out of the gate with an Alakazam that can one-shot most members of my party. It also has Recover, meaning that it needs to be killed fast. It also has a high speed, which means I'm not going to be able to chip it to death with Wrap, or any of my moves, really. The best shot that I have is that if Sparky uses Sand Attack a few times, and I switch to Haunter and put it to sleep. After that, I use Dream Eater. Oh no, it does next to nothing! Okay, I guess my second best hope is that I pray to Arceus that it stays asleep long enough for me to use Nightshade 5 times. After that, Marowak comes out, but it dies to my Lapras, and my Nidorina can take down her Fearow. And with that, the game is over. D.Tyler never finished it. I can go to the guy who's protecting Mewtwo's lair, but he won't let me through until I beat the Orange Crew. And besides that, the Picnicker already stole it. You know, that Picnicker had the same sprite as D.Tyler. I wonder if that was a second self-insert. I guess all I can do now is evolve to a Nidoqueen and make Flameo into a Charizard, and now, I call this review done. So, that's Pokemon Orange. It was a lot of fun to revisit a Gen 1 Pokemon game. I honestly thought that it was gonna be terrible, but I had a ton of fun. I mean, if I had a few requests, it'd be that the levels of the enemies were a little bit lower, the game was actually complete, and it wasn't possible to get trapped in Magikarp hell. But I was able to learn that early Pokemon games are completely playable, especially if they're made by Nintendo. However, there are a lot of Pokemon games that aren't made by Nintendo, and they are just a couple of clicks away on eBay. If you want to see more of those, why don't you hit that subscribe button?
Hey guys, Heeman Gaming here. If this video does well, I will play more Pokemon bootlegs next year, so please help share it around by giving it a thumbs up or even a thumbs down. And leave some sort of comment. Maybe give me a suggestion for a worthwhile bootleg? Thanks, and I'll see you later.